This is summarizing books so you don't have to read them. Shatter me. Earth is dying. Simple enough. That is the detonator behind the problems in this story. Juliet is nothing more than a prisoner in this supposed asylum. Placed there by the establishment, she's been isolated from almost a year, since they took her away from her parents for an incident that she had no control over. Or at least that's what she said. She is clearly mentally unstable for her lack of human interactions. But wait no more, because as a reward for good behavior, they decided to give her a roommate. A blue-eyed boy with sleeve tattoos and is that a piercing in his eyebrow? He takes possession of both beds and proceeds to make himself at home. And she does not sleep at all out of fear. Next day, despite her uncomfort, she tries to safeguard the cellmate from the dangers of this prison. In this place, you never see anyone from outside the door. The meals come burning hot, and shower time is a hasty endeavor in the dark. Barely soap and no towel, and she makes sure to get him there and back. Back in the room, he proceeds to cover her with both her blanket and his. He placed her bed back in place and apologized for his rude behavior, as he should. What was that about? His name is Adam, and she can shake the feeling of familiarity. She wakes up in the middle of the night screaming, waking Alan at the same time. She's shivering, and he makes sure to wrap her tight with both blankets. And she's emotional about this act. Her parents never touched her. She had no friends, and people avoid her out of fear of being hurt. They laugh at the fact that both of them thought that they were locked up with a psycho. And after the 5th time of asking, she finally tells him her name. The Reestablishment. This is a group that promised a solution to the lack of food and chaos. And although humans found some balance, more people die at gunpoint than of hunger at these points. But they are having some problems maintaining control. Adams tells her about the rebels who do not agree with the new regime. The Reestablishment is struggling to consolidate their power throughout the region, and they are destroying whatever remains from human history, including language, to start fresh. Well, Juliet 100% knows him. They went to the same school for 7 years. How did she playing like dumb with this information? But he doesn't seem to remember her. They end up having a discussion because neither of them would say why they ended up in the asylum. Juliet is constantly on edge, trying to avoid him because of the way he makes her feel. No one ever touched her, and she's craving for that human interaction. But she does not want to harm him and is trying to keep her distance. Adam obviously does not understand the reason behind her behavior, and this is constantly repeated, leaving them on the same starting point every time. Sometime later, at 5 AM, people burst into their cell, pointing their guns and screaming. During this commotion, Juliet faints and wakes up 2 days later in a solitude cell and is received at gunpoint again, and at the other end is Adam. Adam, who turns out to be a soldier, and takes her to their leader. The leader in question is a sadistic-looking guy who has a proposition for her. Warner knows about her ability to hurt anyone she touches, and so he asks her to join them and help their cause. In exchange for commodity, although she really doesn't have an option, they'll make sure her only answer is yes. Adam is led in charge of her. He takes her to the outside, and Juliet is amazed. She's finally able to feel the outside instead of looking through a window. They rode out in a metal tank, entering a compound that was built with the intention to be temporary, but are now the permanent residence for civilization. They arrive at the Resistance headquarters, and Juliet is disgusted for what she sees. Luxury at the expenses of those who are suffering outside. The Reestablishment was originally accepted because of the promises of a normal life, but they are still suffering and hungry while the Resistance lives in luxury. She's given a room and told to prepare for dinner. Oh boy. She takes a hot shower, surrounded in luxury she never had. But they won't be able to buy her loyalty this way, because she never hated that life, and her only yearn was for the touch of another human being. They arrive at the banquet hall, and she sits beside Warner. She tries to maintain her position and constantly defies his wishes, but after a random dish being shot through the room and a supplicant look from Adam, she starts eating. It doesn't really matter what she wants. She is escorted to her room by Warner himself, and he has the brilliant idea to test her abilities. She refuses to touch him, so he forces another soldier to do it. After an unfructuous intent of escape from her part, the guard approaches her and touches her directly. For a moment, she feels powerful, and she hates that she likes that. She feels how she's taking his life force, until she pushes him off and stays motionless on the floor. I think she kills him. Juliet, for her part, is becoming hysterical. Someone needs to help this person, but the witnesses are too stunned to act. And Juliet becomes hysterical to the point of fainting. She wakes up in Warner's room. Warner, who is somehow treating her kindly. He doesn't say exactly why he needs her. He explains he is perfectly capable of killing, hence why he has control over a sector even though he is young. She's disgusted by him, but he points out that she is not that different. She did not break the connection between her and the guard right away. He agrees he is a liar, but an honest liar. He is not hiding his nature. Am I wrong for wanting her to choose the bad side? Next morning, he's in front of the bed, pristine and ready to go. Outside the room, every soldier looked at her in fear, and that was the real reason behind Warner's order. He tells her he is trying to protect her by making everyone fear her. But don't get mistaken, he mostly wants to use her. She is finally back to her assigned room where Adam is waiting. He doesn't look that good and she knows why. And she gets a moment of clarity. She will play to be Warner's doll because otherwise they will hurt Adam in return. She discovers that Adam saved her notebook and hid it in the purple dress he had been pressing her to wear. She opens it in the bathroom where Adam told her there were no cameras, and at the bottom with a writing that was not hers said, "It's not what you think." With the purple dress on, she follows Warner to a lodge in the exterior. She once again is absorbing all she can from the surroundings, while Warner is amazed by her reaction and surprised that something like this makes her happy. They approach the edge of the ledge, and oh my god, the edge of the ledge, and she sees 50 rows filled with all the soldiers of the place. Warner presents her to the section 45, welcoming her to the group. Then Warner makes a report when one of the soldiers is found guilty of fraternizing with the rebels and is shot down by Warner. Next morning, Juliet bumps into Adam in the bathroom. Before she can say anything, he turns on the shower and pushes both of them in to cover the conversation. Adam reaches and touches her, and nothing happens. He is actually immune to her power. He discovered this the first night in the cell when he tried to wake her up. He embraced her closer and she feels like she's dreaming. A week passed by without any type of contact with Adam. He is always close but silent, and Warner is watching and possessive. He shares his advances towards the new world they are trying to build, how many books they have destroyed and artifacts that they have burned. She is mostly with him or in her room. All he does is constantly remind her of how kind and patient he's being with her, that she eventually is going to realize how much she wants this new powerful life. He is sure that deep down, she's just like him, angry with the world and eager for revenge. He wants her to be the mad dog, to go around infringing fear, which is the only reason Warner's father agreed to take her out. And I think he's playing the long game to make her choose that path. Juliet has other things in her mind. She asks for the cameras in her room to be removed, but in exchange she has to touch him because he wants to know firsthand what she is capable of. And I think he plans to make her give in this way, making her feel powerful. He also revealed how Adam volunteered to meet her at the asylum because he remembered her from school and that he was thrilled she was locked up. Obviously saying this to try to make her angry, and she almost gave in her anger towards Warner. She wants to hurt him, but she retracts at the last moment. Warner ends up agreeing to remove the cameras first, but she will have to eventually complete her end of the deal. Oh, and her original crime was killing a child. With the cameras finally disabled, Adam and Juliet reveal each other's secrets. He had always known about the incident with the child, especially because that day he had gained the courage to talk to her, but the events happened and things were to hell. She then revealed that she had remembered him since the beginning because he was the only person to ever look at her like a human. Adam is surprised because he never expected her to remember him. He had always watched her, surprised by her good nature despite no one giving her a chance. And they just hang in the floor hugging each other. He then makes an escapade plan. The troops are being mobilized for some kind of attack against the resistance group. In 3 weeks, when they are deployed, they will do their escape. Warner has become more paranoid and obsessed with her. He's desperate for her to choose that life, to choose him. And then, out of the blue, the psycho mother woke up one day and chose violence. He makes Juliet dress like a slut and takes her down to a torture chamber. The chamber has a spike mechanism where spikes will constantly appear around the room. And then he throws a toddler in diapers in the room. Her task is to save the kid, but we have a big problem. If she touches the kid, he most likely will die. And if she does not help, the kid will die anyways because of the spikes. What? Oh my god, this guy is a genius! What a way to attract her to join his cause. There is not enough time to think and she doesn't have enough clothes. She grabs the child before the spikes go out. The kid screams out of fear and pain, but she managed to grab him by the diaper before the damage is irrevocable. But now she's raging. Once the spikes are out, she leaves the child crawling in fear in the floor. She's so furious that she breaks through the wall and grabs Warner's neck. And he seems to enjoy way too much this situation. He is as happy as a kid in a candy store. His toy is clearly more powerful than he expected. Juliet is cooled down by the revelation of her strength and retreats to her room, curling herself in a ball on the shower floor, where Adams finds her. He hugs her in the shower floor, comforting her, telling her how she is not a monster, and then he says, "I love you." I think that childhood crush was really strong, apparently. And then they kiss. Natural procession of life. They are interrupted by an alarm calling for all soldiers. There's being a breach in the compound. Warner arrives just in time to dispatch Adam. He takes some liberties with Juliet, but Adam comes back and points a gun at Warner's. "Get your hands off her before I bury a bullet in your head." There is some back and forth where Warner warns her to not trust someone she barely knows, and Adam is reassuring her that he do love her. Guys, I don't know, Warner is sick of the head, but I do think Adam said "I love you" way too fast. When Warner realizes she is seriously running away with Adam, he panics and just keeps calling for her not to go. And I kind of feel bad. He's a little bit pathetic in this portion. In between the chaos of escaping, Warner's end up touching Juliet's bare skin. And nothing happened. But he didn't notice, or at least Juliet hoped he didn't. Adam takes her to a hidden tank, drive up to his house where they are received by his little brother James, who knows all about Juliet. After a lot of talking from little James, Adam and Juliet have some time to chat. Adam had always been searching for her since the day they took her away, but he also has a responsibility toward the only family he has left, reason why he joined their establishment. Next morning, one of Adam's co-workers knocked on their door, and he is all bloody, barely standing. He was tortured by Warner trying to find Adam. Kenji was also carried by a mystery man to Adam's place. He just left Kenji at the door, and now Adam and Juliet will have to run because their location has been compromised, since all soldiers have a tracker 0. Adam used a radioactive location to break his. Kenji then revealed that he knows a safe place. All this while kind of flirting with Juliet, gaining an elbow to his face, courtesy of Adam. James arrives home, and he's excited about running away with his brother because they'll be together. And before they have time to pack, their establishment is already at the door. They escape through a hidden door, but their escape is being delayed because of Kenji's injuries. But he is the only one who knows the secret place. Adam leaves James with Kenji to go search for an escape vehicle. Juliet and him run to an underground garage where there is a messy persecution until they come across a side street with 3 cars on it. But the victory is short-lived because Adam is shut down and Warner is taking her away with his bare hands. He takes her inside what looks like a classroom and he looks relieved. He looks like he's in love. He is thrilled because he can touch her. And despite anything Juliet says, he's still convinced she is like him and is attracted to him. I think this guy is delusional, guys. Meanwhile, Juliet feels sick of his touch and attention, and because she's afraid Adam could be dead. And then she sees he has a weapon in his side, and she relaxes, trying to make him think she gave in, letting him kiss her. Seizing an opportunity, she is able to grab his gun and shoot the bastard. She follows the trace of blood that leads her to a slaughterhouse. Bare hands, she destroys the metal door and finds Adam hanging inside. She breaks him free, and after some kisses of relief, she finds a car that was left behind in the chaos. But, well, she doesn't know how to drive. And after some quick instruction and a rocky travel, they reach Kenji and James, and Kenji takes charge of the driving and destination. When they arrive, 4 people take Adam inside without Juliet, and she freaks out. She tows Kenji and someone sedates her. Next time she wakes up, she is completely clean in a sterile room, and a doctor or psychologist comes for a routine check. He also answers all her questions. Kenji is okay, Adam is fine, and they also know about her power. Kenji then appears through the door. Juliet apologizes some more. But surprises don't end there. Kenji tells her that someone called Castle wants to see her, their leader. Great for her! She escaped one organization to be brought to another one. Turns out Kenji was after her all along, reason why he entered the establishment's army. And that mysterious man that supposedly left him at Adam's place? It was a lie. He always knew the location. Juliet is now navigating through an underground city, heading towards the leader, with no idea what to expect and understandably so, untrusting. She reached Castle alone, a well-dressed 50-year-old man, but she won't cooperate until she sees Adam and James, and she gets some answers. Castle gives her a tour showing her the facilities and location. This is called the Omega Point, a place created before Earth took a dark turn. It was a provision for the future, but there is an even bigger secret. Although Earth weather and air are indeed unstable, it is not as bad as the reestablishment has made it look. The lack of food? Artificial. All the animals missing? They are locked up and modified on labs. The conditions are just artificially worsened. They are being lied to. Juliet is not naive as to believe only his word, although he assures her that they have seen their establishments farm and locked animals. But we don't care about the politics. There are 200 people in this installation, and close to half of them have special abilities just like Juliet. We are at a kindergarten of freaks right now, including Casto and Kenji, who can become themselves invisible. And could it be that Adam also has a power? We'll find out next book. Oh my god, this was very challenging to summarize. If you have reached this moment of the video, thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next summary.